Hello and welcome to today's reading. Today we are channeling your spiritual team and higher self to see what things and ways you can incorporate more joy into your life. And we are using the Starseed Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. And as always, all of the books or decks that are used in my readings are linked in the description box. So if you want to check out any of the materials we used today, you can go down there and see that. The first card we have is Earth Pulsing, Pulse of the Mother, Slow Down, Time in Nature. So the first thing that I'm being drawn to is this word pulse. And it's almost like, you know how we have such a very fast-paced energy in our society today, this hustle culture, everything is aligned with a 24-hour clock, this very rigid and seemingly disconnected way of measuring time and its passage. There is so much conversation about how the particular type of calendar and way we measure time has messed with humanity. For example, whether it seems like fall or not, it is fall based on the calendar that we have. Whether it's winter or summer, productivity is expected to be at the same level, even though there are ebbs and flows, even in the patterns of the way people spend money. But the productivity level is supposed to be the same no matter what in the context of Western society. When in reality, we run on cycles. The moon affects the waves, and the gravitational pull affects the seasons, and each season has waves within it of preparation, manifestation, harvest, and then storing and restoring energy within each season, within each month, within each year, within each day, within each hour. So I'm getting that reconnecting to the more natural earth rhythms is something that will benefit you greatly. I think it will help reduce a lot of anxiety that you may be feeling, and that will allow your heart to open more to the experience of life, to remember things that you actually find joy in, because I'm feeling like there's this like overwhelming rush of energy and force that is causing you to not even be able to enjoy smelling the roses when you make time to sit down and smell the roses. The second thing is pretty straightforward: time in nature. Going out and actually being outside is going to be wildly beneficial. I feel like you're an explorer type. You're someone who loves to discover new things and learn things you'd never even thought of before, and realize just how vast reality is in the three-dimensional world and extra dimensionally as well. I don't know about you, but for me, whenever I do go outside and spend time with nature, not doing something else while I'm outside, but actually spending time focusing on nature, I get so many downloads. There's just so much information stored in everything. It's like I'm having this symphonic conversation with everything when I really sit down and focus. And I think that this is something that you could benefit from experiencing as well, because you might be feeling like you have been sucked dry of inspiration, and the most you can do is just keep plugging away and just hope that society doesn't catch up with you. It's almost like you're running and you don't have shoes on, and the ground has chafed away the skin on your feet, and you have blisters and wounds. And this is like that in like the driest desert-like environment that you can find. Like that, this is the energy that I am being shown for the way that you are feeling about life. So the way to bring this sort of juice back into your life is to remember just how abundant even this planet is, even the state or the town or the land that you live on is. If you aren't already interested in this, you may want to learn about native practices from wherever it is you live. The intimate relationship that natives of the whole planet have with nature is incredible and so eye-opening and insightful. There is such deep, deep wisdom and joy to be found in nature. And there are, of course, disasters and things that aren't necessarily pleasant that occur within nature as well. Not everything is something that we would perceive to be positive as humans. However, watching nature interact with itself, even within these disastrous states, is still something to be inspired by, because everything is still so harmonious. Even when these things happen, even when there is devastation, there is always a positive side to it. There is always something that is beneficial for the whole to it. Obviously, we would prefer if no one and nothing had to be sacrificed in order to create goodness, but it may help you to watch those cycles in nature in order to help mitigate your own fears and your own worries about things that won't necessarily go well for you, regardless of whether you are completely enlightened or completely chained to the human ego. The next card we have here is Empathic Starseed, Energetic Sovereignty, Absorbing What's Not Yours. The first sentence in the booklet for this card is, empathetic starseeds are here to shift the world through their physical presence alone. They don't need to do anything beyond being here, thanks to the energetic change their physical presence causes. I'm getting that should you choose to go out in nature, not only will you be receiving a lot from it, I think it will be receiving a lot from you as well. So if you're someone who is particularly nature conscious, like you care very much about the environment, care about the way that humanity is affecting the environment and the natural cycles of the planet, you actually just going out in nature will create healing in some way. And what I'm seeing is there's a toxic relationship between humanity and nature, which we know. It's very narcissistic, where humanity has said, it's me versus you. I'm going to take what I want and I don't care how it impacts you. And part of the healing process of that, if you have two people, would ideally be that narcissistic individual would look at the other person and say, okay, I'm here with you, I'm seeing you, I'm feeling into you, I care about your reality and your experience. And by you going out into nature, like we were talking about, you will be providing that experience to nature. And not only will you be receiving downloads about yourself, the universe at large, metaphorical understandings of reality, but also literal experiences of the natural environment. So you will, in essence, be having a conversation where you are quiet and you allow it to explain its experience to you. But instead of it being with words, it is with the sights, the sounds, the smells, maybe even the tastes if you are so bold and brave, and the feelings that you get physically and emotionally from being in nature that will communicate to you the experience that nature is having, the experience that we are having, the experience that maybe the universe at large is having. And this communication will provide such passion for you, I am seeing. You are definitely being called by nature very strongly, and I feel like you may know that already, and it's not a new experience for you. But coming back to this card, Empathetic Starseed, Absorbing What's Not Yours, it may help you very much to be out in nature in solitude, because as you interact with nature, as we were talking about, which is a collective organism that is so different from the human experience, it will help you to put into perspective what you are and what your experience is versus what something so different from you is experiencing. And the reason this is helpful is because this stark contrast will help you to be more aware of what is actually your experience. So when you come into alignment with other people and you can't tell if they're having an experience and you're experiencing it with them, or you're having an experience that is totally on your own, when it comes to the subtlety of difference, you will be more aware and more attuned to yourself because you have practiced it with something that is more obviously not you. So in your ability and your willingness to connect with nature, you will actually be able to better define who you are and what your experiences are, and be able to differentiate yourself from someone else or other people more easily the more you practice this. And it is 11:11 on my timer, so that is definitely an indication that this is an issue that you may be struggling with. And when you see 11:11, actually what I'm getting for you specifically to practice is, where am I, what am I feeling, and what is happening around me? And even if you just somatically explain that, so what am I physically feeling? Am I feeling warm, cool, buzzy, tension, lightheaded? Physical sensations like this will help you to later on define and reattune to your own emotional body. So while you may be feeling wound up about something that's happening around you and you're unable to extract yourself from it, you may realize later on that the physical sensation that you were having is actually anger. And it wasn't so much that you were feeling the thing that they were feeling, but it was that you were angry that you were put in a position to have to interact with that, for example. I'm sorry, that wasn't very clear, but that is what I am getting for you. So I think there's a ton of benefit for everyone, of course, but especially you right now, for getting out into nature, exploring nature, and having those quiet moments with nature to understand it, understand yourself, and this expansive perspective that you will receive from it will just bring more than I can even put into words into your life. I hope this reading resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you did. I'd love to hear what's happening with you with this nature, whether you're going to go out in nature, whether you had any ideas or downloads while I was talking about this. So please leave that in the comments if you feel like doing that. Like this video if you liked it, and be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And if you do that, hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Until next time, bye!